10. We got plays on the track to get this party started. The living true story mix, he's gonna put his heart into what he's making, so step back, we about to share.
You try your best, but it's not quite there.
Hello, everypony, and welcome to Behind the Canvas with Joe Linsk. I'm your host, Joe Linsk, and with me is a special guest, Brony Dance Party.
Hiya.
With me in helping with the interview is Zach the Toon Critic.
Greetings, this is your cult of personality. What's up?
And Lightning Rabbit.
Evening.
All right. A little background. Brony Dance Party is responsible for many of the most popular Brony music videos involving such artists as Wooden Toaster, Living Tombstone, I Bring the Lulz, and Mike the Microphone. And the first question is comes from us from Lightning. Lightning?
Right, okay. I was wondering in particular is what sort of software do you use for the animations, and how long, obviously each video is a different length anyway, but how long on average does each animation take?
Okay, to answer your first question, what software I use, what I currently use is Adobe After Effects, and I also use Photoshop to kind of aid the process. I don't use the conventional Flash method that a lot of people assume that I use, and probably the way I should use, but I don't know. You can call me stubborn or just ignorant, or I don't know, still new to this animation thing, but I mean, what I do is I create elements in Photoshop and import them into After Effects and then do all the animation there. But slowly I'm becoming more accustomed to doing stuff in After Effects, creating certain elements in After Effects, which is probably going to lead me to using Flash in the near future. To answer your second question, how long it takes, that's a totally different story, because in the beginning it would take me about 2 weeks to make a video. And in fact, I had a quota in the beginning to make a video once every other week, and I was actually able to keep up with that for a while. But sooner or later, I couldn't keep up with that kind of quota, because I was learning new tricks, doing new things, trying out different programs, trying out different animation styles. So sooner or later, I just said screw it with the whole quota thing. Just drop that, and just whenever it's done, it's done. So right now, I guesstimate a regular 3-minute animation using this all the new systems that I use. It would probably take me about 4 to 5 weeks, depending on what's going on in my life.
Right.
All right. Next is my question. How do you come up with the storyboard and the concepts for the music videos that you do?
Well, in the film industry, it's very, very important that you pretty much document everything. You need to ensure that you write down every little thought, plan everything, because I've been involved in a couple independent films, and we would spend weeks planning the shooting process, and we'd still fall flat. But I'm sorry, what was the question again?
How do you come up with the concepts and stuff for the music videos? And does any of the people's music that you're putting to music video play any part in it?
A lot of people are assuming right now that all I do is wooden toaster, because it's true. I have followed a certain group of guys that are involved in, I think it's 2010, that group, with like Wooden Toaster, The Living Tombstone, Mike the Microphone, and Alex S. People assume that what I'm doing is following them. But really what I do is the songs that I pick are songs that I can actually create a story for. A kind of a story. Like 20% Cool is just dance scenes. And, the Smile Project, I was actually approached by Forest Rain. But the songs that I choose usually are the ones that I can create a storyline for. So really, it's just whatever I can think up in my head. Sometimes like the current project that I'm working on has no lyrics except just a couple lines from the show. So this is the one that I had to be a little bit extra creative for. And really, it's just whatever I think about the song. Like sometimes the song spells it out. Let's see, what song? Love Me Cheerily kind of spelled it out. September was another kind of easy one. It was because the lyrics pretty much tell the story for itself. But on other songs like 20% Cooler and what I'm working on right now, I kind of had to create its own little itty-bitty storyline just out of the blue. And I take concepts from like Skrillex and Deadmau5 and I'm trying to think of any other big artists, David Guetta. Like I would watch music videos from them, and what I would do is I'd take down notes. Why is this music? Why was this the official music video? And you'd watch the video and compare it to the song. The video and song usually don't have a very good relationship because what's playing in the video has nothing to do with the music. I mean, for Skrillex's Bangarang song, what do you get out of that? And in the video, it's about kids stealing from an ice cream truck and then growing up to be big bank robbers. What connection is there between those two? How did they get that? So, I would try and take real life concepts and figure it out, how to apply that to these videos.
Awesome. And with that, we go to Zach, the Tune Critic.
All right. First off, I want to say I really am trying to control myself from not having a fangasm moment here. How exactly do I put this? Okay. The two music videos that you made, Awoken and Rainbow Factory, whenever I tell people I'm a brony, they ask, okay, why are you a brony? I show those two videos, and I say, this is why I love the fandom. And this is a question that I've always wanted to ask. What did you enjoy making more, Awoken or the Rainbow Factory music videos? Which one did you like more, I mean?
The one that I liked more was Awoken. Because when I made Rainbow Factory, I was still a young animator. All I really had was the random support of Alex for doing 20% Cooler. But it was just like Rainbow Factory kind of set up what I saw in my head, and then Awoken allowed me to expand on that concept. A lot of people were saying, okay, well, there's smashy thingies, that doesn't make sense. Where do they get the colors? You kind of cut away. There was a lot of missing holes in what was going on in the factory. So Awoken gave me the opportunity to actually expand upon it and fill in some of the gaps. Because I actually have everything in my head. I know exactly how it all plays out. But the videos don't exactly explain everything. And I'm not really going to take the time to make a third video unless something incredible happens. I think the Rainbow Factory has kind of run its course. again, that idea can change. But I just love doing Awoken more because one, I knew more about video editing, so I was able to do cooler effects, kind of more broad stuff, more intensive effects that kind of drew up the render time. In fact, fun fact, the render time to render the entire video out was about 32 hours, I think.
Wow.
To render out the entire video, over a day of my computer just sitting there making the video, over 30 hours. It's crazy how many effects were in Awoken, and I still don't feel like it was enough. But
well, what more could you possibly add to it? I mean, it's really great though. What more could you add to it?
Well, first of all, is it the last video? I think it's the last video that I did the puppet tool method. But anyways, it's one of those moments where if I can go back and redo it, I would do it totally different. I say that for every one of my videos. I would do it 100% differently. Would it be better or worse? I don't know, but
I just love that face of your OC for that entire Awoken music video because it's just sociopathically disturbing.
Yeah, a lot of people have a problem with him being an Earth pony in the Rainbow Factory. Again, I have the whole backstory in my head, so I can explain why he can stay up there and why he's there in the first place, but I usually just don't explain it.
I totally didn't.
I
totally just overlooked that.
I didn't even think about it at first because, again, it was back then when I was new to the fandom. So when I made the first Rainbow Factory video, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even understand that concept back then. So it was
just takes the bus to work.
All up in the air. The first beta animation that I did for Brony Dance Party, I didn't even have their cutie marks. I didn't even know what it was when I finished up the video. And when I posted it, people started yelling at me saying, okay, it's apparently you're Brony now. Where the hell are their cutie marks? And I'm like, what is a cutie mark? So.
Beginner mistakes.
I made a lot of them.
Lightning, go back to you for the next question.
All right, okay. I know you mentioned earlier on about you're working on something at the moment, but can you tell us anything about any future projects you're working with, or anyone you might be making music videos for? Anything in the future that you're working with, towards?
I don't know if you have seen a new teaser that I released on Halloween.
Yes.
I released a teaser, and it's the first minute of the next animation. It's still incomplete. There's a lot of missing chunks. I'm still waiting on certain assets from people who helped me out, like a Blue Skittle and Spades. They both helped me out making these videos by making vectors or puppets for me, and they're a real help. It's nice to know that I have somebody helping me out, because I don't like being the only one doing these videos. But any project beyond that, it's just it's kind of up in the air. I mean, I used to have a plan, but all the plans kind of crumbled when I switched to a new animation style. So everybody is saying they're spreading certain rumors, like, oh, the next one's obviously Discord, the next one's obviously this. There's something along those lines. But really now, I mean, the current project that I'm working on started because the musician just randomly contacted me and said, hey, I'm making this song you want to PMV it? I mean, just randomly out of the blue,
Mm.
he contacted me. I'm like, wow, the timing could not have been better. Yeah, I'm gonna do this song. So really, once I'm done with the current project, who knows what could happen? It depends on my mood. Maybe I listen to a song and I cannot stop listening to it, and I say I gotta do this one, or something along those lines. It really just depends. I don't have a set schedule.
Yeah. So it's more of a sort of like cross that bridge when you come to it sort of thing, like concentrate on the one that you're making at the moment, and then if you find a music video that you really like, or a piece of music that you really like, then you'll make a video for that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I plan ahead. I might start becoming like more emotionally invested in the next project instead of my current project. So I mean that's kind of what happened with Awoken, because I started thinking of Awoken about 2 or 3 videos before I actually started making it, and I could not stop thinking about it while making Love Me Cheerily and all those videos, because it was just in my head, infecting me, saying, all right, I got this great idea, and I couldn't work on it because I had these other plans set in place, and it was it's like that.
Yeah.
So it's just take it one video at a time.
Yeah, I do know that feeling actually, with the whole like, you're trying to work on one thing, but you've got a brilliant idea for something else that you'd rather kind of be working on at that time, and you're so like invested in that, but you have to finish the things that you're doing in order, because you can't just like start working on one thing before another thing's finished, and otherwise it just gets like extremely chaotic and doesn't work. Learn that the hard way.
Right.
Yes, anyway.
Well, next question. The show inspired you to do all these videos, but I have to ask, before MOP, what was there any cartoons, if any, that inspired you to do animation?
Not really. I was never a fanboy of anything aside from like Minecraft. And you can ask around, if any like dependent fan or hardcore fan of mine, you ask them how big of a Brony is Brony Dance Party, you're gonna find the answer something you're not looking for. I don't actually watch the show anymore. I haven't seen a good 30 or 40% of the second season yet. I'm still working on it, you know. But it's a curse of mine. I never watch a show past like the second season for anything. So it's not like I'm getting bored of this or anything like that. You can kind of call like I'm using this as a medium for learning animation, but you never know. Sooner or later, somebody's going to force me to watch the rest of season 2, and when season 3 starts, and I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to feel that rush again that I did a long time ago. Really, I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore Brony, but I'm very accepting of most of this culture. So, but what happened beforehand was I used to animate stop motion Lego videos. So I've become pretty proficient in stop motion animation. It's just something that I picked up, and I actually did it for about 5 years before I even tried this animation. That YouTube channel only got about 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers, while Brony Dance Party is about to hit 40,000 subscribers. So. It was pretty cool how this community is very accepting of people who try something, you know.
Cool. And while we're on that concept, what is your overall opinion of the Brony fandom?
My overall opinion is I have this problem where I tend to focus on negatives more than positives for anything. So if you ask me about my videos, like, oh, how do you feel about this video? I'm always like, oh, I hate it. It's so bad. So, I mean, bronies in general have done so many amazing things. I always overlook what we do. I mean, we save lives in hospitals. I was even part of a charity fund for a hospital in Uganda for the Massive Smile Project. And look, we hit our goal within 24 hours and then bypassed it. I don't know how much money we raised for the hospital, but geez, we've done so many insane things. We've cured. I've heard us raising funds to cure children from cancer. It's just random, different things like that, and the fact that we're bringing together artists that can create music as good as mainstream big time DJs right now, animation that should be on television, writing stories that should be published as books. The community is insane in so many different areas. It's staggering. So many people will point me. It's like, have you ever seen Fighting is Magic? And I'm like, Fighting is Magic. What is that? And they show me a video, and I'm like, that looks like it deserves to be in an arcade, like around the globe. So I also know people like Meredith Sims and Rena Chan, as insane voice actors who deserve actual roles in animated films and all that stuff. The community pumps out so much stuff that always blows me away. I can't even talk about everything that we do, So the community has it's still constantly blowing me away.
It truly is an amazing fandom.
It is.
As a voice actor, I've never gotten as much work as the Brony fandom has given me.
Oh yes, a lot of experience is given in this community. I've seen people who say they haven't done a single thing until they got into this community, and they were getting very active in certain roles, and certain people are getting like voices in animations. Some people are being able to draw certain things they weren't able to draw before because of this and animation stuff. So many
That'd
things.
probably be me, actually.
Yeah.
Lightning,
Lightning here's the one of the artists for Welcome to Ponyville, the video game.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want him to feel like we're ignoring him. So Zach, next question.
Oh, hey, I am just absorbing all this information right now.
Taking down notes.
Yes.
All right.
What do you find most difficult about making the PMVs?
What's most difficult? Well, before, a lot of people had I kind of created this style that was very controversial. And one of the most difficult things, and in fact, I would talk to other pretty big artists in this community, people with more subscribers than I do, people with who are just more popular in general. I would talk to them about this. And the thing about that's driving us insane is when people make assumptions about who you are just because you have a big number of subscribers or followers or something like that. And I've seen it happen so many times where I'll just hear rumors like, hey, did you hear this person obviously doesn't like anybody except those who are as popular as he is? I've already been accused of that, being told, oh, BDP only talks to popular people, which is totally untrue. I take probably hours out of some days just to interact with the community, with random people and all that stuff. And still, I still fall flat because some people, their messages go completely unresponded, which I need to take this opportunity to say, if you ever send me a message and I don't respond to it, just send me another one. Kind of be annoying, but don't actually be annoying. Be like polite about it. Be polite is essentially what I'm asking. If you're polite and a little persistent, you will get a conversation with me going. But it's just, I'm constantly working. Even right now, as I'm talking to you guys, I can look over at my second screen and I see the timeline for one of my shots. And if I actually click out of Skype, I can see Fluttershy standing next to a house that's about to be blown up for the next video. Like, that's how much I'm working. I looked over at Skype and I saw this conversation. And I was like, oh, crap. Like, that's how much I'm working. I'm constantly getting into my work, and it's just, I'm so focused on my work. I have school work too. I have regular work. I have client work too. I make videos for companies like Foot Locker and Nike. So,
wow,
you know, that's why I'm constantly set to do not disturb on Skype, because people, I'm trying to work on actual projects, and
Yeah.
I can't, whenever I do have free time and I'm not talking to anybody, I set myself to online mode, and that's when people can freely call me and get in a conversation, all that stuff. So I try and stay interactive with the community. But the hardest part about all this is when people assume stuff of you, like, this guy's obviously a dick, or his girlfriend's cheating on him. That was a rumor that started about my girlfriend. Apparently, a rumor started that she was cheating on me with Mike the microphone. It's totally untrue. It's totally untrue. Ask anybody. It's 100% untrue. She and I are very loyal to each other. So,
Well, to be honest, who wouldn't go with Mike with that beautiful voice she has?
Oh, God.
yes, it's all about the voice.
That's why Apple App went with him.
Fans just like to start drama sometimes, and sometimes you can start over something incredibly small, but since the Brony community is like so huge, even the smallest rumor can spread like wildfire.
Oh yes, even if they can get their hands on something like actual proof that something happened. Like a while ago, I was in a conversation with somebody, and what they did was they took my words out of context, and they make me look like I'm a dick to somebody. But in reality, if you were to look at the entire conversation, it's really not that bad, because the people who were talking to me were actually being dicks to me, and that was my retaliation to them. And they just took my retaliation minus their trolling and then said, look, he's a dick, obviously. So...
I know where you're coming from with the always working, because I always take on every freaking thing that people ask, or looking for art or some voices or some music.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you're like, crap, I'm totally forgetting to do my schoolwork or my actual job.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with everything right now to build up my resume, because as much as I'd like it to be, it can't just be all PMVs. There's no way. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, there has to be some things going on in the business world.
Yes, I have been involved in sportcasts, newscasts. I'm currently one of the lead animators and editors of an independent film called Empty Spaces. So, keep an eye out for that on, I think it's WeTV. I think WeTV is going to pick it up. That, or not Spike. I don't know. Some big network station is going to pick it up.
That's really impressive to hear.
So, I mean, yeah, I've been pretty busy this past semester of school.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lightning, your next question?
My next question was kind of a follow-on from the question about anything in the future. It's, are there any sort of, I know, I should probably ask this question first. Do you actually, work closely with the people, for instance, just any of your PMVs say, I'm going to say Wooden Toaster as an example. Do you work closely with the artist of the song when making the music video, or is it just like do it independently from them?
That's actually a really good question. A lot of people think that those people are all that I talk to, are the musicians, but in all honesty, no, it's not. Really, it's just like one or two messages to the musician saying, "Hey, I really like this song. I'm going to make a video of it. Is that okay?" And they say yes or no. And if they give me the thumbs up, I go forward and I make the video. So I at least have their permission. They know of what I'm doing, so I'm not just doing it out of the blue. Now, Wooden Toaster is gotten to the point where I haven't actually contacted him about some of my videos, where I'll just randomly say, I'm doing this song next. So, yeah, in reality, no, I think the closest I've ever worked with anybody on a project was Mike for his Epic Rap Battles of Equestria video.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yes, his second one that has, it's Big Mac and Blue Blood.
Yep, that's it.
I animated that one, and that was the one where Mike had, I would have to randomly come to Mike, and that was actually a really bad timed one because I was going on like a 2-week-long vacation in like a tropical island or something like that. So I was like under palm trees with my laptop animating the video.
Yeah,
like my family would be slapping me in the face saying, what are you doing? You're on vacation. Why are you working on stuff? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I really want to finish this as fast as I can. So, I mean, it's not Mike's fault. He, in fact, he was very supportive of me because it was also a very stressful time. But yeah, and apparently, Wooden Toaster didn't even know about Awoken until I was more than halfway done. So I rarely talk to the musicians because they kind of just say, do whatever you want. If the musicians ever have any notes, they give it to me and that's it. Yeah, I go on my merry way.
It was one thing I was always wondering about that, because I know there are a lot of people who make animations for different things, and I was wondering how closely some of these people actually work with the musicians, and actually it turns out that some of them don't work very closely at all with them, and they'll just do their own thing, and really the only time they talk is to ask permission.
Pretty much that's all I do is I just ask them for permission and then get my own idea and then move forward.
Yeah. In that case, the second question, which is kind of slightly redundant in that respect, is there anyone you'd want to work with or make a music video for? But again, that's kind of already been answered in the respect that you've said it's whatever music you kind of...
One person that I'd like to make a music video with is for Daniel Ingram.
Now that...
So,
well, that's given.
That'd be a nice one. Being the guy that actually makes music for the show, but
that would be good.
I don't think he'd even be allowed to do that.
Good news, Hasbro just hired you.
Well, he's got better connections, and I know people that are way better than me in animation that should be animators for certain companies. So
yeah, I mean, I think in a way we'd all like to make something for Daniel Ingram, but yeah. I know I would at least.
Work with Lauren Faust and have a squee moment.
Take a good look at whatever next coming shows.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Okay, now for the question that I ask every brony at some point or another. Their brony story on how they became a brony.
Obligatory. Good.
Here we go. All right, this one. Okay, mine started off as I was a hater. It wasn't a hater as in I would bash bronies for liking the show. What I did was I made a video that essentially pokes fun at the fandom. but it doesn't. Yeah, I wrote it so it's neutral. I didn't want to make it offensive to anybody because I never want to offend anybody, but sooner or later it's bound to happen, whether you know it or not. But I mean, yeah. What I did was I heard about the fandom, and I'd heard rumors about, like, I think it was President Bill Clinton is a brony. Now, I watched that video, and after I watched the video or the audio take from it, I said, okay, no way. I never watched the show, and I was able to answer the questions that he could answer, and they were stupid questions like, what is the darkest color, blue, white, or black? It's dumb questions like that where it's obvious what it is, and nobody could get it wrong if they were really trying. So I'd hear weird rumors like that, and I'd say, what, really? Are you kidding me? So I made a video about the top 10 internet memes, and My Little Pony was in there, and I heard about it already, so I was like, okay, why don't we make, like, that one, since it's so big right now, why don't we make that the main focus? And that was back then when I was still doing my stop motion animation films. So I said to myself, all right, I don't want to do Lego ponies. That doesn't make sense. And I really don't want to go to the store and buy a couple action figures to animate those. So I thought to myself, why not actually try and emulate the show a little bit? So I made this video called Legoland Internet Memes 2. You can look it up. You'll find it stars Pony Joe, my OC. I voiced him. He moves around just like in my older videos. He doesn't have a cutie mark though, because I didn't know what that was at the time. And then finally, the video came out. I started taking an interest in the show. So I said, okay, one day when I got really, really sick, like bedridden sick, I got on my iPod and I started watching the show. And about 4 a.m. the next day, I went to bed finishing the first season.
It happens to everyone.
So, and it was the basic denial stage, where it's like, there's no way I like this. It's like, look, it's a show for little girls. There's no way this is interesting to me. Why am I still watching this? And it was the basic process like that, where it's like denial, acceptance, and then you just love it. So, and then I made a Brony Dance Party over my winter vacation, and I actually remember spending a little time with myself in my room, pacing around my room, thinking, okay, I got this idea for a video about this song 20% Cooler, and I know how to animate this way because I did it in this last video. I got this idea, but I really want to do it, and all that stuff. And I actually was questioning, should I make this video or should I not? And finally I said, screw it. I sat down, started animating 20% Cooler, made the channel Brony Dance Party, and pow, I live.
The rest is history.
The rest
As they say.
History.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just as a kind of random story, that's kind of exactly the same thing that happened. Like, I had this idea one day that I just sit down and do some vector art, and by this point I'd heard of the show, and I thought, that's all done using vectors. Why don't I just try and do that? And after I'd made a few, and they were pretty bad, looking back, I thought, now I kind of like to put these up somewhere, and I was like, I almost did the exact same thing, pacing up and down, thinking, should I upload these or should I not? Because I realized that there are people out there on the internet who I know in real life who, is this going to be good for me? And in the end, I just went and did it, and now I've got a massive gallery of different pieces of artwork.
It's a real conversation stopper if you ever bring up the kind of thing like, I can't tell you how many times people have like stopped in place and said, "Wait, you like what now?"
Yeah.
So, really, I give them the same spiel I give everybody, and most of the time they're accepting. I hear a lot of people who have bad experiences with intolerant people who start yelling at them or like completely like cutting all contact from them, even, and other situations where parents will start making fun of them. So I've heard extreme measures, but I've been pretty lucky amongst my friends who are all very accepting. And again, they think it's pretty weird, but at the same time, I get to come back and say, "Look, I can animate now," and they say, "Yeah, you're right, you can now." So.
My buddy had a hard time getting into the fandom because he was introduced to it from the MOV series.
I know a lot of people that were introduced that way, and even my roommate. Like I have a lot of friends that like those videos, but they're not actually a brony because I don't know, they just can't take the actual show, and I understand that part. But they actually just like the jokes that Hot Diggity Demon make.
Well, it took him a while, but he sat down and, like everyone else, stayed up until like the wee hours of dusk watching the show, and now he makes brony weapons, like actual weapons. Yeah,
really?
Weapons like war hammers in the style Fluttershy's colors, and Applejack battle axes. So it makes people go into such creative assets of their brain, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, your turn.
Right, I just have one final question. What is your favorite song from the show? I mean, I know you haven't seen like.
Oh man. Okay, I got another
I'm not
story.
gonna get a good answer from this, am I?
No, you're gonna get an answer because I do have an answer. One thing about bronies that I can't stand is their random tendency to break out into songs from the show. Like the first meetup I've ever gone to was a meetup where somebody was actually passing out due to heat exhaustion, and while he was on the ground, they were cooling him off, trying to make sure he's okay. They all started singing "Winter Wrap Up," and I don't know why I found that very, very awkward, because it was a very public place and a bunch of guys huddled around some guy who's passing out singing "Winter Wrap Up" like as some cult ritual or something like that.
That is a bit bizarre, actually.
Winter wrap up.
Meetups for me are, some of the most fun I'll ever have, but they're also some of the most awkward situations I will ever see. So it goes both ways. It depends on who does what at the meetups, but most of the time they're very, very nice, and I have too much fun.
Yeah, I hear
any of the conventions I've gone to, I always come back not regretting a single thing.
There was this one.
Favorite song?
Favorite
song has got to be Becoming Popular. If I had to choose one.
That's a good song.
I don't know why I actually have the song downloaded from Daniel Ingram when he released all the songs on Facebook or something like that. I actually downloaded that. I downloaded remixes. I downloaded everything. So anything about that song I like.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one.
I had this weird thing that happened to me at a brony meetup / convention where I got up on a stage because they were doing karaoke, and I did the Smile song in the Pinkie Pie voice.
Oh,
no.
See, of every song that I could ever despise, the Smile song is the worst because I animated it. and I'd have to hear those lyrics over and over and over again.
Must
It
not
was
have been
just-
fun.
It was digging at my brain, and a lot of people say, "So do you still love songs that you PMV?" And I say, "No, I hate their guts." I swear to God, if I hear anybody sing 20% Cooler Rainbow Factory, I just immediately say, "Shut up."
They're
I'm
haunting
sorry,
me
but
in
shut
my
up.
dreams.
Yeah, and Awoken, any song that I've PMV'd, I cannot listen to again.
Since we're on the topic, how was working for the Smile Project?
That was an interesting one because we had to create a system that would allow 115 characters to be thrown into a single shot. That was pretty interesting, but we created something that allowed us to be very flexible, and I'm kind of incorporating the same system into new videos, so that anybody that has an OC, I can immediately throw into a new video, and that OC can do whatever I want. For example, actually turn to the camera, which is something that I've never done before, where a character could turn their head or actually walk around or something like that. So yeah, that's just one thing about newer videos, but
All right, Lightning. Any more questions?
No, I think I'm out of ammunition now.
Right, Zach.
Actually, I think I do have one more. I actually was saving this like right near the end. I'm sure you may have gotten this a lot, but in your mind, who is best pony?
This is a required question for everybody.
The obligatory question.
Yeah, that question, and I think the funniest response to it was Max Hot Diggity Demon's response at Candlelight Gardens, where somebody asked him, and all he said was, "Oh, get a life." My favorite response ever, and I kind of sometimes I have the same thought process depending on my mood. If I'm ever pissed and anybody asks me anything about ponies, I'm like, "Oh, shut up! I really can't take this right now." But if I had to choose, it would have to be photo finish. Is best pony. Not best.
I am photo finish.
Oh God,
You always
I was
do
not
a-
expecting that, honestly.
You always do the
Yeah.
extreme German accent when you do
Well,
it.
Germans usually. No, I'm not going to say that.
No.
No, Germans are cool.
Let's not get into that again.
She's just a stereotype.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm also out of questions, and that it was really great to talk to you, Brony Dance Party.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks for joining us. You can find Brony Dance Party in the description below, and his new video. Look for it very soon.
Sooner, I hope.
Sooner than later.
rather
Hopefully
than
sooner
later.
than later.
Hopefully before the world ends or whatever.
Hopefully before, what is it, December 21st, I think is supposed to be Doomsday.
Somewhere
Just-
around there.
Which is good because my birthday's just before that, so I get to enjoy whatever I get on my birthday before I die horribly.
Can't we at least have Christmas before the world ends?
No.
No, that's not how it works.
Think about the other religions.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Christmas isn't the only one. Come now. Be open.
come on.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, right. Closing remarks?
Well,
Any-
I just want to say it's an honor to finally get the chance to talk to you, interview, that kind of thing. One of my main Brony influences and stuff, and really glad I got the chance to talk to you.
Oh. I'm glad to be on your show. I apologize if I was ever unresponsive.
No, it's
for-
fine.
It's all right.
I was freaking out a little, but
I
it's
tend to get that way.
Mm.
I tend to get that way randomly.
No, we can understand because, like, obviously you've just described how busy you can be, and either way, I think it was definitely worth staying up until whatever the hell the time is now. almost 1 in the morning here. It was definitely worth it to talk to someone. No,
Bad.
no, it's fun. Honestly, it's really great to be talking to the person who makes all of these videos. It's just great.
Aw. All right.
All right. You can stop the recorders.
Okay.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
No, I think you should.